No, thanks very much for the chance to speak. Look forward to giving you an update on CuFe. It's probably a new name to a lot of you, so yeah, I'll give a bit of background and then touch on our main projects at the moment, which are the Tennant Creek Copper project and our Yarram Iron Ore project. Corporately, just briefly, that sort of shows a summary of the projects there, also a little bit about the company. We've got one key shareholder, Gold Valley Group, which owns nearly 30% of the company. They've been very active in the stock whenever they can creep, they've been doing so. So we appreciate their support. They're also a partner of ours at a project level in some of our projects, so a group that we've been dealing with for a number of years. Also got the board there. Just a quick shout out to Dave Palmer, our new director, who's joined. Dave's joined us from the start of February, and he's an ex-senior executive from Rio Tinto, looked after their exploration activity there, and yeah, we're very pleased to have him on board. He's already providing some sound advice to us and some good insight into the industry. There's the overview of the projects. As I mentioned, we've got quite a few, but I'll really focus on two today, which is the Tennant Creek Copper project and the Yarram Iron project. They're the two that are most advanced, where we have existing JORC resources and development plans underway. The others are interesting greenfield or slightly advanced exploration targets. I'll touch on maybe the West Arunta area briefly, but the others are all detailed in our presentation if you want to look at them. So jumping into Tennant Creek, we have a 55% interest in the Gecko Orlando area in Tennant Creek. It's located in close proximity to the Tennant Creek town site, and it's an area that's been mined historically going back 20 odd years ago. Produced quite a bit of gold and copper out of these mines, both open pit at Orlando and also underground at both Orlando and Gecko. So gives us a good head start there. We're on granted mining tenure, existing mines in place. Approvals still need to be updated because they've lapsed from when they were mined previously, but yeah, very advanced project in that regard. The total resource there that we've got at the moment is 10.35 million tonnes at about 1.5% copper and just under 1 gram per tonne gold. So it's mainly thought of historically as a copper mine, but you know, with the gold being produced almost as a byproduct of that copper. But in today's gold prices, it gives us the chance to add some additional economics. One of the things that we're up to there now is there's a number of parties, I guess, reconverging on Tennant Creek, given it has been a source of high-grade copper and gold in the past. And so we've joined up with a couple of those companies to look at development opportunities for a new plant, Emerson Resources and Tennant Minerals. So the plant that was used when the mining took place back in the 1990s is no longer there, so we need to either replace that or look at taking things to another plant. There's a couple of options starting to emerge there, which I'll touch on in a bit. But yeah, at the moment, as I say, we're working with those guys. Emerson's got their Jasper Hills and Hermitage discoveries, which they're just working through JORC resources on at the moment. Tennant had their Bluebird discovery in the last year or two, which again, they're working on updating their resources. So between the three companies and those various projects, say 5 projects that can feed a plant, we think that'll underpin the expenditure required on the plant. Tennant Creek, as I mentioned, is getting a lot of activity at the moment. We've also started to see some corporate activity happening in the area. So the privately owned Tennant Creek Minerals Group, TCMG, was purchased late last year by a company called Pan Africa, who's listed on the AIM and JSE exchanges. That deal was including I think it's about 55 million US for the equity, and then they also assumed debt that took it up to sort of close to $100 million US acquisition overall. So that was a big statement of support for the area. Those guys have got a plant underway, which is primarily a gold plant. They expect to have first production out of that in the next few months. So there might be opportunities to do something with them. One of their sort of stated objectives when Pan Africa bought in was to look to consolidate other resources in the area and bring them to market, either through their gold plant, or they're also looking at adding a copper circuit to that as well, which will suit our project better. So that becomes another potential option for bringing the project into development. And then just as recently as last week, there was a stake crossed in Emerson for about just under 8% of that, for about $5.5 million, with Patronus buying in there. And again, their stated sort of reason for that at the time was that they saw, a lot of scope for corporate activity and consolidation within the Tennant Creek region. So you can see from this map that we're a very central part of that. We've got the biggest resource of the parties that are on the ASX in that region. Currently, we've got the smallest market cap, so that's, I guess, our challenge, to try and get those points to realign and get people to recognise the value that we have in this asset, which, as I say, sitting where it does, very close to rail and power infrastructure, good access through the rail up to Darwin Port, potential processing options off to Queensland if you wanted to look at going that way as well. So quite a number of choices for us to investigate there. This just shows some of the recent work that we've done to grow the resource. So we've basically, there's been a heap of data and a heap of drilling here from the old boys when they were mining it before. We've taken all of that, remodelled it, and you can see from the top picture, that was the previous resource, and the bottom picture we've been able to extrapolate out that a lot further, this is just at the Orlando deposit, which is one of the three main deposits in the region that we own, and that's taken our resource up nearly double from what it was at Orlando previously. So that was very pleasing, very cost-effective way to grow the resource, and we're doing a similar optimisation and review process at the moment on the Gecko deposit, which is the other main deposit that's been mined there historically. So we'd be hoping to see a similar result to that, in seeing some good growth. And certainly in Gecko, there's very little gold recognised in the historical resource, which was something that was done before we acquired the project. But when we look at what's been mined historically, and when we look at the drill data, we think there should be quite a bit more gold than there is. So that'll be something that we look forward to proving up that thesis as this review happens, which has really probably only got another 3 or 4 weeks to go. So that'll be quite soon. In addition to the mature parts of it, we've also got a number of exploration areas. The area has been fairly heavily explored, but the history of Tennant Creek is that small discoveries by volume have been high value discoveries, because it's got the potential to host bonanza grade deposits. And Gecko and Orlando, where we are, has historically been mined, mainly for 4 and 5% copper, and they've basically, we can see from the old data, they've consciously left behind 1.5%, 2% copper, which of course in today's world is very attractive grade. So we think that's something that we can look to utilise by both using the knowledge from that previous work and then trying to turn it into another of these significant discoveries. Worst case, we find another few small bits and pieces that can add to the plant life. Best case is we find another significant discovery of grade. I just want to briefly touch on our iron ore business. We're running an iron ore mine up until last year in the Wiluna region of WA. We sold that because we were finding that it was taking up a lot of our time. We wanted to focus on the copper. But we have still got another couple of iron ore projects, including this one up in Yarram, which is about 5 kilometres from Batchelor, about 100 kilometres from Darwin. We've got an existing resource here. It's got a high-grade core and then another lower-grade section. So we're looking at some development scenarios around each of those. Again, primarily located on granting mining tenure. It's got the Browns oxide plant within about 1 kilometre of it, which has got unused infrastructure or infrastructure on care and maintenance, which could potentially help us to get up and running. We'd see this as a very low capex, very low opex style of opportunity, given the ore's quite shallow, and the distance to port is really the key driver of the value of that. It's just so close to port. There's 2 other projects, Nathan River out of Bing Bong Port and the Ridges project out of Wyndham Port, that are exporting material of this sort of quality at the moment, and they're making some decent money out of that. So yeah, we're doing our studies to work out how we can join in and get some iron ore back into the business. We've also just got a new ground at Yarram South, which we'll do some exploration on. That's just a tenement we've recently acquired. Just very briefly, in the West Arunta, it's a very hot area in the last year or so, with Encounter and most famously, I guess, WA1 making significant discoveries and adding a lot of market value to themselves there. We've got 4 tenements in that region. a few hundred kilometres worth of ground. We've successfully negotiated native title agreements to get in there and explore. They should just be verified by the government. Given it's an Aboriginal reserve, it needs to be confirmed by the government. That meeting's happened the last few days, so we should get the feedback shortly that that's all good to go, and then we can start planning our exploration activity there a bit more. Gold, I won't touch on those ones, but we have got a few early stage gold projects. Again, you can see those in the presentation. So just to wrap up, Tennant Creek's the main focus. We've got new resource coming out from the Gecko region. We've got a scoping study moving into a PFS on the project plant options with our joint venture partners who I mentioned. We've got those drilling targets that we want to get after and try and get some holes into this year. As well as those opportunities I've mentioned at Yarram, Tennant Creek, West Arunta, etc. So, yeah, busy schedule, and look forward to updating the market on it as we go. Thank you. Yeah.